Talk Shoes.
Recorded live.
Hello, everybody. This is Sandy. Welcome to Notes of a Ghostwriter. Rob and I, we have a fabulous show for you tonight. Jujana can't be with us, and she will be missed. But we have a wonderful guest speaker tonight. She's a good friend of mine, and she's also a member on our ghost hunting team, Janet. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Rob. Janet's been on our show before. She spoke about her Gettysburg experience. And we promised the listeners that we'd have her come back when she visited the Queen Mary. And she did that, and now she's back, and she took some fabulous pictures, and she's got a fabulous story to tell us. Janet, welcome. We heard you had a great time.
Excellent. Fabulous.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, when was this that you went down there?
I was there February 18th. I did their paranormal tour in the evening, and it was very professionally done.
What hours were they that you went?
8 to 10 in the evening, the first and third weekends of the month. And I think it's the third weekend of the month they do a midnight tour, which I would love to go back and do.
Oh, yeah. Well, can you tell us some of your experiences there and who you were with?
Erica Frost, who is fairly well known. She's been on a number of shows, TV ghost shows and radio shows. She was the psychic tour guide for the tour, and I have met many ghosts on the ship, but I had no idea how haunted that ship is. And this tour, they took you down into the bowels of the ship. There was no one for 40 feet above us.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
And it's always, if you go, make sure that you bring a flashlight with you because you spend a lot of time in the dark. And you go through a lot of the storage rooms, the boiler rooms, engine rooms, and down a lot of stairs. So wear comfortable shoes.
You bet.
They started us out in the engine room, and we went by door number 13, which is where a gentleman named John had been crushed by the doors. And that was where we started the tour.
Okay.
And at that point, John was there. I could see him behind
the door number 13.
Now, and one thing that they do tell you with the tours is that you bring cameras, any kind of equipment that you have, and it's handled very professionally, like a real professional ghost hunt.
Oh, wonderful!
And you're asked to share anything that you experience. If you're taking a tape recorder, which I brought with me, she will be quiet and have everyone quiet so that you can tape for EVP. So it's just very well done. But every time I tried to do an EVP, when we would stop it, the ghost would turn my tape recorder off.
Yeah, okay.
And they would always turn it off just before they would do something.
Of course, yeah.
So John was there, so I could see John, and there's a service elevator right there by the door 13.
Okay.
And it's only used by staff. And he will occasionally make the elevator go up and down.
Oh, okay.
And you can tell the difference between a staff person's in there and when he's doing it. Staff goes up and it doesn't come down again for a while, you know.
Okay.
And it started going up, down, up, down, up, down.
Oh, how fun.
So from there, she takes us down into the engine room, and there is a ghost down in there that's name is Henry. And he is not very nice or very friendly. So, and he was down there, and they take you into a room they call the Green Room, which was used by Disney when they did their phony ghost tour, which they still do, the one with all the spooky, for non-believers and that. And in that one, Henry seems to hang out quite a bit, and the Friday night before I was there, a man was in that room, and he got slapped and fell to the ground, and he had a big red handprint on his face when he came out of that room.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. And then from there, they take you down, and they tell you they're going to close the doors, and you go down these metal stairs, and we went down to the bottom of the ship. And in that room, we all got down there, and they turned on the lights, and then we just listened, and we asked questions and things. And that part of the ship, when it was called the Great Ghost during the war, when it was used as a military ship, had run into another ship and cut it in half, so there were a lot of deaths. Where we were in the ship was the part of the ship that hit the other ship. So as we sat there in total darkness, you could see nothing in front of you or anything, we heard there was a man who kept speaking.
Oh.
He kept repeating the same thing over and over again, and I never could understand him. Then there was a woman started humming, and we could hear footsteps, and it was the nurse. There was a nurse, I forget her name. And so she came down there, and I could see her, so I described her, which really surprised Erica. I was describing her, and she goes, yes, that is what she looks like.
Oh, fun. Oh, cool.
And we'd hear men groaning. We heard a lot of footsteps on the steps upstairs. Now, at that point, we're 40 feet below anything, so anything we heard was all paranormal. It was nothing that had to do with people staying on the ship. So we heard her. We had the groaning. We had the man talking. And then at one point, Erica said to me, she goes, Janet, do you see the man standing in front of you? Well, I had been looking off to the side because there was somebody else there. And there was a man that had walked around all of us in the room through the whole thing. And towards the end, before we turned the lights on, he came and was standing right next to me. I could see him.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, incredible.
Yeah, it was. And, usually, you take EVPs and you hear the voices, but on this tour, you could hear everything. It was fabulous.
Were you able to catch any EVPs?
I think I have the little girl at the pool.
Now, what level is the pool on? Is it way below, or?
It is just above the engine room.
Okay.
After we turned the lights on there, then they opened these huge iron doors, and that's where they kept the prisoners of war.
Is that right?
And I got some great orbs in there.
Yes, you sure have. Get this picture up.
That you could see the actual ribbing of the ship. It was the very bottom of the boat.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh,
right there.
wow, yeah.
And there it is.
What an incredible picture she took here. Wow. Now, this here, the pictures I'm looking at, this is where the prisoners were kept. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Horrible place.
Yeah, I guess so. Yucky.
And I was thinking how cold it must have been.
There happens to be an interesting story to that, too, because my uncle, who was 4F and couldn't go into the Army, was responsible for the Italian prisoners of war that came over on the Queen Mary, and they were put out in Long Island during the whole duration.
Yeah, that's right. She did say that they were Italian prisoners.
Yes. And actually, my aunts always used to talk about that my uncle would take two of their prisoners of war, because they were Italian and we were Italian, and take them home with him on the weekends. These were prisoners of war, but he didn't care. He took them with him and introduced them to the girls, meaning my aunts, and that was a pretty wild story in itself.
Oh, that's really, really nice. Can't imagine how they live down there, because the ribbings are so close together that I don't really know how they did that.
Well, you know what? It wasn't much better for the Marines going overseas either.
Oh, really?
It was like pretty god awful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. From there, they take us up to the swimming pool.
Okay.
Now, the swimming pool during the war was used as a morgue.
Oh, it was? Oh, goodness. Okay.
And they would put the bodies at the bottom of the swimming pool.
Okay.
And there's a picture that I sent off of there. There's a very big orb over the doorway. And that is the little girl. A little girl had drowned in the pool at some time, and she called out to us, at least 3 or 4 times.
Really?
Yeah, which was really a treat, because Erica had said that she had not been active for quite a few months.
Well, she put on a show just for you.
Just for me. And the picture,
very nice.
The picture that I have of the orb above the door, I knew there was something there, and we had dowsing rods, and we had a girl hold them and ask for the little girl to point where she was, and she pointed straight to that area, and that's when I took that picture.